I'm kind of curious. So, with the internet service that you provide, how is that different from the standard run of the mill internet?
That's a loaded question. We provide what we call the next generation of managed Wi-Fi. So we didn't invent the model. We have crafted a model that is tailor-made for property owners, property operators, property teams, as well as residents. And we did that with a lot of software and experience and putting the right people in the right places. It comes down to acknowledging the process, the stakeholders, and how do you implement those things to achieve the
Right.
outcomes and experiences that you want to deliver. So what we've done is not just provided the internet service that other people have been able to do, but to deliver the entire experience to all the people in the food chain. It's not just like, hey, we give internet to the residents, or hey, the property has internet in the clubhouse, or there's Wi-Fi at the pool. It's all of those things. And we're a partner to the property. So if they're like, oh, we're going to add cameras throughout the property, we say, great, where do you need internet? Right. So it really unlocks the future of what the property might want to do from a property technology perspective. If they want to add smart access control systems, or if they want to add, occupancy metering or monitoring to see whether there's people who are using the amenities that they're spending money delivering. So yeah, it's powerful.
That's amazing. And I realized that, that wasn't a question that we had discussed before, but based on what you'd said so far, I was really curious. And I love what you shared because I will say, as somebody who travels full time, we're often in a new place every 2 to 4 weeks, right? This is a rare, right now we're in some place for 3 months. It's a rare treat. And I do appreciate that they have great internet here, but I have seen how bad the internet is in a lot of places. Person who's going to operate something like a multifamily, like internet is not their expertise, right? So this is an opportunity for them to bring in somebody who's an expert and just erase that friction point and, like you're saying, add these other layers of value and these other things that you don't even think about that could be there. In addition to just providing that great internet for all of the I guess stakeholders or people who are potentially at that property in any
The
capacity.
actual internet itself is table stakes. It's the experience that you can provide when delivering it. If everybody in the food chain essentially knows you're there and is aware of you, but never has to think about you, that's success as an internet service provider, especially from a resident perspective, right? If they move in, they're online, and they literally never have to think about the internet throughout the entire duration because it always works, that is success.
That'd be amazing, as I think of all the places where we've been where it's like we're having to, like, because we often stay in, like, Airbnbs or something, and it's like we're having to reach out to the host to be like, "Hey, if the door's closed, the internet doesn't work in this room." Or, "The internet only works in the living room and not the other half of the house," or all those fun things. So, and it's such a pain point because we depend on it so, so much. Yeah.
You forget how dependent you are on it until you don't have it. And so your Airbnb scenarios are real life. And that's the kind of thing that you can avoid with proper design in a community that you own, right? You can say, look, I want my residents to have a high quality experience, and I want to deliver a touch-free property team environment so that they're not dealing with it, but they get the luxury of using the backbone and having residents get online the day they move in, right? So there's a lot of advantage to having a service like ours.
Right. Now, I've shared my own challenges, right, with Airbnbs and things like that. I'm curious what you've seen on your end, how poor connectivity and issues can create friction for people like the property managers, the leasing teams, the maintenance staff, everybody who's working there in addition to the residents.
It's their job relies on it, right? So they're signing leases on a daily basis. Their maintenance technicians are taking tickets and repairing issues around the property. And all of that runs through a software platform that requires internet access. So they've got to have app access or computer access for them to pull their tickets or for them to sign leases with residents. So the entire operation of what it needs to happen on a day-to-day from a multifamily perspective requires internet to function appropriately. But then there's all of the other stuff that happens at a property, right? You've got smart locks now in a lot of places. You've got smart thermostats. You've got, all of the prop tech, okay? I don't want to just list it all, but there's all kinds of property technology that is dependent on internet service. Now, a lot of them will still work without internet, but all of the smart features would go away without internet access. And so on a day-to-day, you can imagine the amount of chaos that could happen if internet access to any one of those things went out or was
Right.
unreliable. And that didn't even touch on the fact that people live in these apartments and people work from home. So you
Hmm.
have to have reliable internet. It's crucial, I would say. It's a critical service.